Okay, so we're back in the garage with Twilight Zone, and today we're going to be looking at another mod. As you know, this Twilight Zone I've got pretty much decked out already with everything you could possibly want, but there's one thing that I think it could do with that it's missing, and this is something in the pop bumpers. Now, when I got the game, same problem as I had under the playfield with the lamps in there, just single diode, which looked a bit rubbish, so I took them out and replaced them with bulbs because, you know, that was the best alternative that I had at the time. I didn't have any other LEDs I can put in. Pop bumpers, though, there's a few different things you can get, and one thing that's becoming very popular is LED rings. There's a lot of different types of these you can get. There's sort of like lower end ones, which are a ring that plug into the middle. There's the really high end, I'm trying to think what they're called now. Oh yeah, Bright Caps Evos, which are, well, if you're like in England like I am, they're incredibly expensive to buy and ship across, so only for something you really like. But today we're going to be looking at some more from Pinball LED, and after the last video, David very kindly offered to send these up to me, so here they are, just down here, lying on the game. So these are pretty standard of what you're going to find in terms of LED rings. You've basically got, on the top level, a whole load of LEDs around there and a single LED in the middle with wires going off it, because that's going to plug into your 555 socket and light the LED ring. The nice thing about these ones, because I did buy some very similar ones to these for a Johnny Mnemonic, and they were very nice, I liked them a lot, but the big advantage these one has is if you turn them upside down, they're lit underneath as well, and that's what the ones I had before didn't have on them, so these are a bit better than the ones I had before. So like I say, if you're after these, just head over to Pinball LED UK. David's got these for sale. He sent me 3, so we've got a red one for the red pop, a yellow one for the yellow one, and fault of the company, not the supplier, there's no orange ones. So I've plumped for a white one here, so that'll go in the orange cap. Because if you're going to have to put in a colour, white's going to be the best alternative. I thought about red, but we'll see how it looks. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take the caps off all the pop bumpers, which should be a 5-minute job, and then we're going to have a look at them. Okay, so maybe 10 minutes on from where we were. Pop bumpers, 6 screws to remove the caps, dead easy. The only one is with this yellow one, you do have to maybe push that back a bit to get to the screw. So I'll very roughly, without screwing them down or anything, just put the rings in just to make sure they work, and we'll just cycle through the test. You see there's the yellow one, that's the white one in the orange cap, and there's the red one. And if we take it out of test mode, and I apologise, there might be a slight bit of noise here because the glass is off and I have a very noisy clock in this game and it will redo the hands, so if you just give it a sec. And there we go, that's how they look in the caps. I think that looks really nice. You know, we're just going to have to put them in permanently, and this is the thing, I'll just put it back into the test menu. This is what I've learned with these types of ring caps, and it depends on the type you buy, but with this particular type, and I had this problem when I put them in Johnny Mnemonic, they're not secured by anything. So what you'll find is, as the pop bumpers move up and down, like that, if you don't secure them in some way, this is going to rattle around, and eventually you're going to have a broken wire, or they'll just stop working altogether. And I think when I put them in Johnny Mnemonic, that took maybe 10 games to happen. So you really want to secure them, and a lot of people might, oh, I don't want to put a mod in if it's permanent, blah blah blah. Well, this isn't a permanent fix. You can undo it if you have to, or you can just buy 3 more caps. They're like 50p each, guys. So what you want to do is basically, this is what I do, you hot glue them down, so they're not going to vibrate, they're not going to move, and it's going to take me maybe 10 minutes to do that. I mean, the big part of it's going to be waiting for the hot glue gun to heat up, but we're going to do that now. So we'll move over onto my little work area, and I'll set the camera up on a tripod, and you can just see how I do that. There's probably a few other ways you could do it. I mean, I tried a few things. I tried blue tack, which was really ugly and ended up coming off due to the vibrations. You could probably get some kind of clip, but you'd have to probably put them all the way around, and it's not going to look brilliant. I think hot glue with these is probably the way to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these out again, we're going to bring the caps with us, and I'm going to set the camera up just over there. So see you in a sec. Okay, so here we are over at the workbench. I've got the 3 caps laid out in front of me. Just a piece of advice for when you're going to do this. Make sure that the LED rings are positioned correctly. The one thing I did get wrong once when I did this before, when I hot glued them down, is you don't want the wires that are coming in and the LED in the middle to be anywhere near those screw holes, because it's just going to make, you get around it because it's only 2 wires, but it's just going to make life a little bit harder. So you've got to think, if we want about that much of the wire, that's going to come over the middle, so that's going to be about the right spot, I think. Just make sure they're nice and flat in an even position, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work my way through these 3 LED rings. So we're going to go to a time lapse. I will just say I don't profess to be any good at hot gluing. This is the only time I ever do it, so I'm sure there's going to be some of you screaming at the video that he's doing it wrong, or it's, you know, this is not the proper way to do it, but you know, just bear with me, I am an amateur. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, so it's for about 5 minutes that took just to get them all hot glued in place. Like I say, I don't profess to be any good at hot gluing. I kind of go for a blobby approach, so if I do want to take these off later, it's not going to be massively difficult to, you know, get the glue off. The only thing that does is you get these little kind of bits in between each blob, so you do have to kind of pick those off. Doesn't look very pretty, but you're never going to see this because it's going to be underneath the LED rings, you know. They're just going to sit on the game like that. You'll never ever notice. I mean, there's a little bit you can see around the bottom of the caps, but say you're never going to notice that. So now these are well secured in place. As you can see, it's not going nowhere. We can put them back in the game, screw the caps back on and enjoy them as they look in the game. Alright, so about 20 minutes on, I got the caps back in place. Wasn't too difficult. The only thing, and this is another top tip that I did run into, just because there's now wires where there wasn't wires before, where the rings link to the outer ring from the middle, you do have to put them sort of down that gap where the bumper body is in the middle, so sort of like that. Otherwise you're trying to get the cap in and it's just not happening. So there we go. So I think they look really nice actually, and I like that they're underlit, so they're kind of lighting up that area there just underneath. Looks really good. Well pleased with that, definitely well worth doing as a mod, and the white one looks quite nice and the orange cap shines through quite well. So my review, if I get to give these a rating out of 10, yeah, I'd give them an 8 out of 10. I think they're really nice. you know, really nice mod to add to the game. Certainly make the caps a lot brighter, a lot more noticeable than just having a single bulb in there. I think to get the perfect 10, the design of them would probably have to improve a little bit. Like I say, I think the only thing bringing them down is the fact that you've got to hot glue them to the caps. If you didn't have to do that, they'd be a perfect 10, because if you don't do that, they're just going to break sort of after 5-10 games probably. But overall, really nice. I have to admit, I wasn't probably going to buy these types of LED ring caps again after I had the ones in Johnny Mnemonic, but like I say, the last ones weren't underlit. They were slightly different as well, not as good quality, so you know, I'd highly recommend these actually. I think they're really nice. You know, you can get them in a whole range of colours. You know, because I got the red, yellow and a white one here for Twilight Zone. You can get, I think you can get green and blue and a few other colours as well, but you'll have to check that on Pinball LED and see what they offer. So, like I say, check these out. I don't think they're very expensive. Have a look on the website. Actually, I'll put the price below. You can see how much they are each. And you know, like I say, David's a good guy. He'll offer you, I think if you're in the UK, it's free next day shipping signed for. So you know you're going to get whatever you order, whatever happens. So I just want to say thanks again to David for hooking me up with these. They're really nice, and they're going to be sitting in my game now till it leaves me. And keep an eye out for more videos in the future. Thanks for watching.